Works. How's it going, Luke? How you doing?
Doing fantastic, actually. Went surfing with my son this morning and just did a cold plunge, so feeling great.
Nice, man. That sounds like a good week to me. Well, I would go ahead and kick off, and I'll cover for Kyle. He had a conflict today, so I can give his update on the test net for compute rewards. So why don't we start with that? Seems like they're making really good progress. I know Kyle's been working hard to onboard everybody that's expressed interest in joining the test net and being involved. So definitely reach out to Kyle, fill out the form in the compute channel if you haven't done so, and you're interested in providing GPUs and running a subnet on Morpheus. We're getting pretty close. It's only 11 days until the 18th. So seems like it's gearing up nicely. Should be plenty of people to kick off the start of compute rewards on the 18th of November. So I'm super excited about that. Um, I've put up some more information about this concept of subnets onto GitHub. So check out in the docs repo, if you haven't already, what a subnet means in the Morpheus context. So worth sort of understanding that. That terminology has proved very popular in other blockchains and projects. So I think it extends well, especially since people will be staking more towards a provider. They can think of it as staking there more towards that subnet the provider is operating, right? And it's sort of agnostic, right? Somebody could run a subnet doing inference for large language models, one particular model, diffusion models, you know, but you're basically sort of staking towards that subnet's reputation, right? One of the important things to understand in the compute context is the Morpheus router ranks the different subnets based on their uptime and how long their sessions are, right? And how many more they're staking, things like that. So, you know, all of that is transparent in the Morpheus context. So, you know, it'll be really cool because it'll basically provide a way for people to earn more on their more, which is pretty cool, by staking more towards these different subnets. A big thank you to Anton for suggesting delegate.xyz. And I know a bunch of the open source developers are busy at looking at the best way to integrate delegate with Morpheus so people will have a tool they can use and a smart contract to stake those more towards a specific provider. So expecting that to get done before the 18th and sort of announce more details about that. So important thing to understand, you know, if you're looking at being a subnet and you're saying, oh, well, I don't know if I have enough more in order to rank highly in the reputation, this allows for people to delegate towards you, right? And so you don't necessarily have to have all that capital. You just have to have a good reputation and attract people to stake towards your particular compute subnet. So anyway, I'll keep it there. But you know, really great update from Kyle. A lot of the pieces are all coming together. So again, if you're interested in that, jump into the compute channel and definitely hit up Kyle and fill out that form and be involved in the test net and everything ahead of the 18th. But anyway, good stuff. Bo, you want to go next?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, David. So a handful of things. So I made a list. This is no particular order. I'm just going to run through them, and I guess stop me if there's anything you'd like to dive deeper into. So Firebox integration remains to be a really high priority, and we have a lot of kind of different leads and different angles that we're going about that. I had a great call with somebody who works with them, specifically in their partnership group, earlier this week, and really the key thing here is going to be getting an existing client of theirs to request custodial services of more tokens, because it sounds like the actual integration of the token itself is very easy on their platform once that happens. In most cases, projects will have, a foundation and a treasury, and they'll do it themselves. We, of course, do not have that, nor do we want that, which they do understand and are, aligned on our values there. So I know, David, you had an awesome lead with Uno Coin on doing that, and it sounds like they are an existing client of Fireblocks. And correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I think they use Fireblocks. They said, I mean, most of the smaller mid-tier exchanges tend to use something like Fireblocks for their custodial infrastructure. So just to give people that context. So yeah, and if anybody knows other exchanges that are excited about integrating more, have them put in a request directly to Fireblocks. But big credit to Fireblocks. It's great to hear that this process has become a lot more open and streamlined recently, because historically it took a long time to get new tokens added. So yeah, let's make it a community
Totally
effort.
Totally agreed. And it sounds like they very much have an internal kind of focus and initiative on AI projects or DAI projects. And so I think we're catching them at the right time too, which is really great. Okay, so moving on, another really high priority integration is Chainlink. It really opens the door for a lot of future DeFi integrations because many of those protocols rely on Chainlink pricing data feeds. About that. Same thing. If somebody does have, a contact with someone who works directly with Chainlink, that would be great. Or if they want to contact them directly, that would be awesome. Um, okay, so third, had an awesome conversation this week with the guys from ETHOS who are building the DGen 1, which is the Ethereum based phone. They really strongly want to have some type of LLM integration into the hardware when it ships. And I think that basically what we're building here could be an awesome crossover to make that happen. I mean, I can't even imagine how good it would be for our community if everyone who orders a DGen 1 phone is, automatically onboarded to the Morpheus ecosystem. Um, from a development perspective, am not really equipped to help them do that. And so, if there is somebody who is and is passionate about, potentially having some type of integration with the hardware directly, please get in touch with me. They've started a group chat with me, looking for someone from our side to kind of step in and help them determine, what type of collaboration could happen there.
Well, I'd recommend pinging Rakshak, because he's the maintainer for the more local, the more agents, which is the local install. And it's gotten super small. I mean, you're talking, I think it's like 8 MB now, comes in the package. So it would be small enough for them to, pre-package that into what they're delivering. And then it does the download of the model locally after the person activates the software, right? And the models are getting fairly small. We're talking about a couple of gigabytes when they're fully downloaded. So I would definitely ping Rakshak. That sounds like right up his alley, given all the improvements that they're making. And that would
Okay.
give somebody, the wallet connection. It would give them the reference agents. It would give them the agent they can delegate based on the intent that they express. And that's sort of, I think, one of the key pieces is a lot of what Morpheus brings to the table for agent builders is that discoverability, right? And as people start registering agents on the decentralized registry, the Morpheus agent is really just detecting what the user wants to do and then pointing it to the smart agent that other third parties have built. So that's, I think, probably the piece that you want to integrate. And then, that has the ability in the next version that it's going to be able to call out when it needs additional compute to the decentralized Morpheus router, right, and connect with more powerful GPU if it needs to create an image or a video or something that it can't do locally. So I think that's probably a good place to start.
Okay. Would you mind? Could you help me connect with him like via group chat or something? Only because we haven't spoken directly before. So I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I can get hold of him. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
otherwise he's
basically.
pretty responsive on Discord as well, and hangs out in the Smart Agent channel.
Okay.
Just
Cool. I'll drop a message in there as well. But yeah, that is the exact type of integration that they're looking for, basically, where it's access to AI tools but agnostic ultimately, which is essentially what we got. So okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah, just hit him
Um,
up on his Locks Bagel handle.
okay. You got it. Okay, so moving on, there was discussion this week about NFA, so non-fungible agent integrations, and what that will look like as the NFAs continue to develop. It sounds like from the people who have more experience than I do in the NFT space, it sounds like those platforms are a lot more open to just being able to list basically your NFT, or in this case NFA, directly to the platform, as opposed to something like a DEX where, although you can access the token via the token contract, actually having it show up on the front end does not automatically occur. So it sounds like there is more flexibility on that side, which is awesome. I don't have too much to say about it other than anybody who's building an NFA and wants to kind of help be the guinea pig for putting one out there on something like an OpenSea, and then us working to get them. I believe they can be verified once they're put out, and so us working to make that happen would be great. I think that's going to be a massive market and platform for developers. Um, Last couple things here, and I'll try to move through them quickly. Continuing to maintain a running list of our current integrations, as well as future ones. Also taking on a continued list of contacts and attendees for DI days and any other relevant events. So if you are taking down, names, emails, Discord handles, whatever it is at the events that you're hosting, please shoot them my way, and I will help document that for the community so we have kind of a running list of those things. Um, Lastly, on a more personal side to me, I'm working on scheduling a meeting with Cornell Bitcoin, which is a student-ran organization up in Ithaca on their campus. I was in touch with them this week, and so I'm going to try to do, some type of DAI talk at one of their meetings, hopefully coming up. And then I'm also working on a video concept that I think you guys will like and will be helpful for the community as well. So more to come where that is concerned. Thank you.
Cool. That's great, Bo. And speaking of videos, I really loved the explainer video that Noun Space did, and Willie was kind enough to hook us up with the guy that did those videos, and says he wants to do it for Morpheus. And so yeah, if you haven't seen the Noun Space launch videos, they're pretty epic. Great stylized, short, sort of explains what it is. So he's thinking about doing a couple of videos, one explaining Morpheus in general, and then also talking about the launch of the compute network. So, I just put that out there. If people have other ideas, that's a great talent to tap as far as creating cool explainers that can give people a preview into what Morpheus is doing.
That's amazing. Just a quick preview. If you're familiar with the YouTube channel Fine Maddox, are you familiar with that channel by chance?
Nope.
Oh, so they had previously done a bunch of different DeFi crypto explainer videos using a software that does kind of animation. Basically, the process that they use is the same process that I'm using. And yeah, I think that as much of the stuff as we can get is, obviously for the best. So awesome.
Cool, man. Well, speaking of excellent videos, Luke, man, you've been killing it with the explainers. It's so cool. It makes it real when you can actually see how to use the tools and use the interfaces. So, you want to give us a quick update? I know you've been super busy.
Sure. Yeah. No, I've been just enjoying life. Really, I'm just happy to be part of the community here and seeing stuff happen. It's really cool, and they're fun to do. It's neat how just constantly there's cool stuff coming out, and I'm learning a bit too. Like I just want to throw everything in a video, everything in the kitchen sink, because there's just so much stuff I'm realizing as I go through this that I just take for granted being part of the industry for a while. Just basics of like understanding how tokens are on different networks and how to bridge between different networks, how to swap between different tokens, and all that stuff. So I did a video this week that was just way too long, and I knew it. And also my computer was stalling out pretty good. So my new computer, unfortunately, they pushed the shipping date back a bit. I may not even get it till next month. So anyway, I'm hoping to get that new computer so I can do videos a little faster and also start participating more with the test net and be able to do videos with that. I did talk to Kyle this week, and he mentioned that he even got a version of what they're working on to work on like a 2010 machine, which amazes me. I have a 2017. So he's going to work on some documentation for that as kind of another way to get me involved to be able to do more videos, even with what I have now. So that'd be exciting. But either way, yeah, happy to do the videos. Again, just a reminder to everyone listening in, if you've got something coming up related to what Morpheus is up to, definitely send it my way if you think that it'd be helpful to have just somebody walk through it and show it. It really is interesting how much people respond to just seeing something that has been talked about explained, and actually see a human being like do it, and then they're like, oh, okay, I can do that, and they can pause the video and they can zoom in and figure out what did he do here. Oh, okay. So yeah, I totally enjoy doing that kind of stuff. Happy to do more of that. Also want to get a little more involved with the actual documentation side of things, and making videos that make sense, and putting them into the documentation as it makes sense. So just having fun with it. Happy to be involved. Also, too, just want to mention last night, Jeff McDonald and I were here in Puerto Rico at Naomi Brockwell's event, where she did an event here. If you're not familiar with her in MBTV, she's just an amazing privacy advocate that has been passionate about this, and she just launched her own nonprofit and announced it last night to advocate for the content she creates without being like beholden to advertisers. So we had some obviously good conversations with her about Morpheus and the privacy and security and all that, and she's familiar with Eric Voorhees. I mean, she's been in the space for a long time, so it's just neat to see these worlds align. And they're actually doing a series on AI right now, so they were like, oh yeah, we definitely need to talk to you guys more. So a lot of people aligning very nicely with what we're doing, and I think it's pretty cool. So that's all I got.
Awesome, man. Sounds good, Luke. Hey, Kevin, you want to jump in next? Give us a quick update.
Yeah, hey everybody. It's been another great week of accelerating Morpheus builders. I've just been really having a lot of conversations. I've helped kind of share more about Morpheus with about 10 builders. Some really interesting projects that are asking to learn more and thinking about how to take advantage of compute when it goes live. What's the pathway to deploying agents? Just to give a couple examples, talked to a team in Utah building agents that have time series models underneath and can have kind of predictive capabilities. Met with a project, Zoe, that is like Telegram and GPT kind of had a baby, so you can chat to your friends, but also chat to agents in one interface, which is a really cool project. And thinking about how they can kind of deploy agents and use Morpheus for inference for some of their early use cases. It's been an exciting week. Lot of builder activity. I also the More Accelerator repo that I'm maintaining. I put some pull requests in that have some links. Hackathon frameworks and hackathon enablement tools, agent use cases that we can get some community curation around, as well as the website for a builder accelerator. All of that would be great to get community inputs and comment on. It's at a point where it's definitely ready for some community discussion. Would be great for folks interested in accelerating builders to read that and participate in the repo.
Very cool. I'm just looking through the pull requests right now. This is I like the visuals that you did showing off the tracks for the more builders. So I'll go ahead and get these merged. But this is great, man. No, this is all good content because everybody everybody needs all these different pieces. So appreciate you kind of pulling it all together. And we're getting so close to compute going live in 11 days. So now is definitely the time for people to be evaluating how they can leverage the inference and everything else. So
awesome. Yeah, I told David that my utility function is taking all the pieces of things that folks have already built and creating logical pathways to build. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do in general.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think those are all merged, so you're good to go. But
awesome. Thanks for reviewing.
Yeah, and just a call out for builders. I saw that Llama, the folks at Meta, are hosting a Llama hackathon for people building on Llama. Obviously, that's like one of the most popular models in the Morpheus ecosystem is Llama 3.1 405B. So if anybody's in the Austin area towards the end of November, I think the event's on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So I'll post in the Smart Agents channel probably. But if anybody wants to register for the hackathon, I'm registered. I'm planning on be there. I think a bunch of Morpheus people are going to be around. So I think it's probably worth coming out and seeing what you can build on top of Llama. That'll be post compute being live. So you could actually sort of put a lot of things into reality by then. But I'll post the QR codes, but definitely check that out. It's nice to see more of that going on. So it'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Cool. All right. I think the other maintainer updates, maybe just give one quickly for Ruckchuck. Amazing improvements in the local agent. I know he and Dom and others are all doing these integrations for a reference agent for dollar cost averaging. There's also an integration where you can send transactions with 0 gas fees, thanks to the new Coinbase API. If you're doing transactions on Base and you do it through their SDK, you can actually send transactions with 0 gas. So that's really cool. So I think that's all part of 0.2, which will be the next release of the more agents local install. And then the last piece will be looping it into using inference on the network. So sort of connecting in the worlds of the local install with what's going on with on the network side. So that'll be really cool to see. But just to kind of remind people, if you're building an agent, think of more agents as a sandbox, as an SDK, as a set of reference implementations that make it easy for you to build and deploy agents locally in order to test them, and then have something that you're ready to deploy to the network when agent registration goes live. So that's hugely valuable to have as a tool and to have all those references. Morpheus is welcoming of people building agents on Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Solana, Near, Cosmos, anywhere people are building agents, they're welcome in the Morpheus ecosystem. Morpheus is not monetizing its own agents. It's not building its own agents. It's just creating reference implementations for everybody to be able to freely use. So I think that's a really important distinction. But that's sort of the update that I got from Ruckchuck when we chatted the other day. So let's see. Any other maintainer updates? I think maybe the last one is, audits and everything are looking good on the new smart contracts. For those that saw the announcement, and again, credit to Anton for creating the great guides. But I saw the multi-sig updated the distribution contract to version 5 just a few days ago. So version 5 includes the referral rewards for people that stake ETH, and they can now include a referral address to reward somebody that onboarded them into the ecosystem, taught them about Morpheus, all the rest. And this is also a great tool if somebody's building websites or interfaces, if they want to make it easy for people to onboard into Morpheus. The way it'll work is they'll be able to create a reference address, they'll have a link, and when somebody comes to the dashboard, it'll automatically populate their reference address when they make a deposit of staked ETH. So that's really cool to me because, it builds on what worked so well for Lido and their rewards they shared with the community to get people to stake ETH, right? But does it in an entirely decentralized peer-to-peer way. There's no application, there's no committees, there's no bureaucracy, there's no approvals required. Anybody can create a referral address and start bringing people into the Morpheus community, right? Which I think is so cool. So the smart contract's been updated. The dashboards are getting updated. I think it is basically over the next week or two, you'll see those updates propagate to the dashboards and a place where you can create referral addresses and stuff like that. But it is now live at the smart contract level, and we'll start making its way into the dashboards and everything. But I think that's a really big key to Morpheus' success, is continuing to release tools where people can build value permissionlessly. So excited to see that. So big credit to Anton and the open source developers and everybody, and especially call out Jeff McDonald, who wrote the MRC describing the referral system, advocated for it, described it to the community. and really pushed it over the top. So, great example of somebody coming up with a cool concept of how to improve Morpheus, putting it through the process, helping get it coded up, and now, sort of everybody can benefit. So that's probably another good thing to highlight. But that's about all I've got for today. I don't know, Bo or Luke or Kevin, you guys have anything else you want to cover? Otherwise, yeah, we'll call it a wrap.
And nothing from my end. I just want to again highlight how I appreciate these kind of calls. I love the idea behind it being, let's be more open with everything going on. There isn't some secret cabal of people twiddling their mustaches, defining the future of Morpheus in some back room somewhere. I really do enjoy this, in that there, as we say often, there is no company, there is no foundation, there is no DAO, there's no team really. There's just open source contributors, and that includes you. If any of you are listening to this, anyone wants to participate, your opportunity. I was just talking to my brother yesterday, actually, who does QA stuff for a company, and so I was just kind of thinking, like, anyone, including my brother, anyone could participate. And you have to get permission. Even last night, there's nobody you have to get permission from, because people are like, this sounds great. How do I sign up? It's like, you just show up. So I appreciate these calls. I think this is a great example of the future, really, of people participating in stuff they're passionate about, and not necessarily, tying themselves to a job or a traditional way of doing things. So appreciate your leadership, David. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, all good, man. I think everybody on this call is a great example, because you guys are all maintainers that stepped up and said, hey, I can help with integrations, I can help with builders, I can help with videos, Kyle helping with the testnet, the compute launch, and that's what you love to see, right? Is just people organically emerging from the community based on the fact that they've shown up, been at events, contributed, and then had an idea on how to improve things and go from there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing more and more maintainers over time, right? There's nothing magic about the first 10 Morpheus reference implementations, right? Fully expect there'll be more of those over time, and we'll really have a marketplace, right? Where you can have people volunteering, people, eventually staking more towards maintainers. I think would be a cool way to decentralize it over time, similar to the way that it's evolving with compute and builder rewards, right? To do the same thing for maintainers, I think makes a lot of sense. But continue to, basically lean in on experts being empowered to go and just build, right? And be that point of contact for pushing something forward. So I think that's been super successful so far. All right, Kevin, Bo, anything else?
I could not possibly say it better than Luke just did. But all of you are awesome, and I second every single thing he just said and that you just said.
All good. Sounds good, man. All right.
Yeah,
gentlemen.
same.
Yeah, keep being awesome. And yeah, we'll do the same time next week. But these are great. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for all the contributions. Really awesome. Talk to you soon.